These are the 4 mindfulness practices or traits to try and incorporate into your day-to-day. No, do you know what? Don't even try. These are the 4 things to incorporate, okay? Don't say, oh, well, I'm trying to meditate. No, you do meditate. You are meditating. Attach it to your self-image, okay? Don't just tell yourself, oh, I'm trying to do it, but sometimes... No, okay? It's absolutely fine to make mistakes. It's absolutely fine to, to not be perfect when you start, okay? That's literally a part of the process. However, it's not okay to sell yourself short when you know you're capable of more, all right? These are the 4 things that I would recommend to improve your mindset, to improve your mood, your mindfulness, your happiness, your fulfillment, everything nice like that goes on up here. These are the 4 things you want to incorporate, okay? The first one then is meditation. So I know you've heard it before, but perhaps you've given it a good go, perhaps you don't quite understand how to do it. So I'm just gonna really quickly lay out a framework that I like to use that helps me. I'd rather do it in a dark room, but honestly, it's fine. You can close your eyes, or you can just do it in your bedroom when it's daytime like this, okay? So what you'd want to do then is, I like to light a candle, so I've got something to look at, or I can close my eyes and picture a candle, but I'd rather look at the candle, to be honest, so I'm just going to do so now, okay? So I've got a candle lit here, right, and you set this in front of you, not too far away, of course, and you just look at the candle, you focus on your breathing, okay? So you'd want to really slow your breathing down, and that's where you want to put your mind. You want to be present in the moment, okay? So meditation is essentially about becoming the observer of your thoughts. So we think all the time. That's all we do, okay? We're thinking about what we're going to eat. We're thinking about where we're going to go. We're thinking about what we've done today. We're thinking about what to do today. We're thinking about, something that someone said 2 days ago. We're always thinking about a million and one things, okay? So what you do is you set yourself somewhere that's quiet enough, like you don't want to try and meditate, especially when you're getting into it, somewhere busy and loud, and like my dogs bark a lot. If my dogs are barking, I find that very distracting, so I like to do it, actually as well, if you don't want to meditate in your room for whatever reason, I definitely recommend meditating outside and amongst nature, because not only is it going to be quieter and you can get to listen to the animals and stuff, but it's just going to be a more peaceful environment for you to get into a present sort of state. So you sit back, you're either looking at your candle here, or you're looking across a forest or something like that, and what you want to do is you sit comfortably. You want to be in a comfortable position, and you just try and focus on not thinking about anything, all right? So you're just there in the moment, focusing on your breaths. It's only got to be 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes a day, and when you do this, you're going to have so much more mental clarity, so much more focus, so much more conciseness when you go about your thoughts, and when you interact with people as well. You're going to be sharper, okay, because you've given your brain that chance to level off, and then you pick it back up where you left off, okay? Because we do still need to think, okay? Not thinking all the time is not going to be beneficial. So get your candle in front of you then. I'm just going to get into the... Okay, so I went about 4 seconds there of absolute, blissful, just focused presence, no other thoughts, and then I started thinking about the coffee in front of me, okay? So when that happens, because this is inevitable, you're going to be meditating, and there's going to be thoughts that catch your attention. There's going to be thoughts that come through that you start wandering with, and you start thinking more about that thought instead of the objective at hand. What's important is that you go with the thought, and then when you notice what's happening, you then just come back to the center. You just come back and you start observing again, okay? So it's completely natural to have thoughts when you're trying to meditate, okay? Because this is a practice that you get better at. So when you start thinking about other shit, maybe you're thinking about school or work or the things you need to be working on, just take a step back and come back to thinking in the present moment, okay? Again, I say it's natural, it's normal, it's going to happen. It's just how you approach it, okay? When you start thinking about other stuff when you're trying to meditate, don't start saying to yourself, oh, this is too hard, I can't do it, I keep thinking about other stuff. No, don't do that. Instead, just look at what's happening and come back to the thoughts. So that's the first one, meditation. I think this is the first and foremost. If you do this, then incorporate the other ones. This is the one I want you to nail first. Now that we've got this down, visualizations. So this is something that I've been practicing with, but I have not yet got it to a point where I can just do it like I can when I meditate. I've practiced meditating for about 2 years on and off. Okay, so it's something that I'm not new to. Whereas visualizations, I've only been exposed to for a couple months, and I have practiced it, and it has benefited me. But it's not something that I am qualified to, to say, oh yeah, I'm really good at it, because I don't feel like I am yet. So what you want to do for visualizations is picture. We can use visualizations for a lot of different things. We can use it for relaxation, or we can use it for sports performance. We can use it for practice. Okay, so if you want to talk to a person, perhaps it's a girl, perhaps it's someone in your workplace that is, like, let's say you wanted a promotion, so you could practice how you wanted that to go in your head. Okay, and this is something that I find quite interesting. All right, when you're going to do something, sometimes we can just go we can start visualizing what we don't want to happen, which is exactly the opposite of what you want to be doing, okay? So let's say you're going to talk to a girl on a train, right? You see her and you think, okay, I want to speak to her, I want to get to know her, see what she's like. You start walking over there, and all of a sudden you're thinking about, oh, well, what if she just doesn't seem into you at all? What if she, just it isn't reciprocating the same level of interest, right? And you start picturing what that would look like. You're then visualizing the wrong thing. You need to be visualizing how you want it to go. You need to be visualizing how you want to perform in the gym. You want to visualize doing your pull-ups but not feeling tired when you get to that 10th rep. You want to visualize being able to squat that really heavy weight. You want to be able to see yourself doing it in the mirror. You want to be able to feel your muscles doing it in your mind, and then when it comes to actually performing, you've already had the mental practice. There are studies that show that mental practice is basically as effective as physical real practice, which is very powerful in my opinion. It just gives us the opportunity to practice the things in our head so that when it comes to the real thing, we've got the experience, even if we haven't actually experienced it, which is cool. So, if you're interested in this, I've got a video on Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. However, to be honest with you, I think reading this book is probably the better bet, because then you're going to gain the understanding straight from here. I've explained it in a very understandable way. It's like an hour and a bit long video. So if you want to learn more about visualizations, either go to that video or indeed order that book. I'm not sponsored, like there's not a link or anything. It's just a really good book that I've benefited from myself. So, goal setting. All right, this is another mindfulness practice that we can incorporate. You should already have goals in place. You should already have projects and things you're interested in pursuing and improving in. But just sitting back and setting out the goals for the day, or setting out the goals that tie into your big goals, this is a mindfulness practice. This is something that you can do to make yourself more grounded in your projects, to make yourself more grounded in how you want to make progress in these areas. It's something that you can do to set the road, to set the pave for the progress, okay? For example then, if our goal was, okay, look, I've literally got it here, okay? So, my goal is health, right? That's one of my goals, okay? And so I've written down here all the things I would need to incorporate in a day to optimize my health, to the best of my knowledge, right? And so I've got loads of things here. I've got flexibility and mobility practices. I've got a clean bulk, which is well structured and prepared. Prepared as in, like, cutting things up and getting it ready so that it's not a faff when I want to do it, because we're going to obviously have more... We're going to do it more if we make it easier for ourselves. If it's a difficult thing over a long period of time, like, okay, eating healthy, right? That typically is something that people struggle with, because it's a lot of preparation and, it takes up a lot of time, which it can do. But if you make it easier for yourself, you get things sorted out and it's all just ready there for you. You just got to chuck some steak in the pan and, a bit of salt and pepper. Then it becomes, you're going to have more adherence, all right? Again, so I've written down here for the health goals. These are like micro goals for the big goals, right? We've got training 4 to 5 times a day, HIIT training. We've got our mindfulness, that's in my health goals. Less dairy, and I've also mentioned just having like fruit, some vegetables, nuts, honey, meats, and organ meat. And mentioned daily cold exposure, sunlight, seeing sunrise and sunset, grounding, getting 10 hours of rest or 8 to 9 hours of sleep, and washing my face twice a day I've recently purchased some... They're like chemicals, right? But they're not particularly natural. I was trying to like use honey and cinnamon to clear my face up, and it wasn't playing ball. I do think my skin is partly down to my dairy intake, which is tied in with meeting my calorie goals, which is something that I'm going to have to address in my spare time. But I've recently got some chemicals that are supposed to clear up blemishes and spots and such, so I've written them in my health goals, because although rubbing on like, you know, artificial man-made stuff is not massively healthful in my opinion, you know what I mean, like some of these things are carcinogenic and stuff, one of my goals is I want clear skin. I really want clear skin, and it's a sacrifice I will make if it clears my skin up, because I'm a confident guy. Like I have a good self-image. However, having spots, if you have spots or if you have struggled with having acne, and mine isn't awful, like I know people with worse than me, but it does just play on your mind when, like, in social situations and stuff. It is something that you think about, oh well, you know, what if they think less of me because I've got spots. It's stupid, it is stupid, but I would rather, just for me personally, this is just, I'm getting on a bit of a rant here, I would rather have clear skin, okay? So again, goal setting is our third mindfulness practice that we can do to improve our mood, because of course we are goal striving mechanisms, all right? So, or creatures, should I say. So we're goal striving creatures, and if we are consistent with this, we're going to be happier, because we're pursuing the things we care about, we're making progress in the things we care about, and we're doing better for ourselves. The final one that I want to discuss here is gratitude. Now, I've just done a separate video on this morning, and I've gone through the things that I'm grateful for today. And this is something that is easy to do, and it's gonna have effects across the board, right? So I'm going to read you a couple of these today. I'm grateful for the man coming to fix the washing machine. I'm grateful for my health because I haven't felt healthier. I'm grateful for my parents because they work really hard and often to facilitate my upbringing, and I'm fortunate to have them around. And we've got, like, I'm grateful for the weather because it is a sunny autumn day. I'm grateful for my shower because it makes cleaning my body easier. Now, these are just some examples from today. It's what gratitude isn't about, like, some philosophical sort of, oh yes, I'm grateful for, I can't really think of an example, but it hasn't got to be something difficult. It hasn't got to be a daunting task. It is just simply sit down and think to yourself, okay, what do I appreciate in this moment? And things will come to your mind. It's a bit more difficult when you haven't had the practice in it, so you do need to perfect this over time. But gratitude is one of those that when you start practicing it and you sit down, you think, okay, I appreciate this, I'm grateful for this, I'm glad I have this in my life, you know, my life would be hard if I didn't have this, I'm grateful for this too. Once you do that, 5-10 minutes, you'll then go about your day being more grateful. You'll go about your day being more mindful, being more present, being more happy. Because, okay, two people get on a train, right? They've got to do the same thing. They're going to a city because they have a meeting, and then they're going to grab some food and come home, right? So they've got a meeting and they need to get some food. The same sort of day for these two people. One person would be getting on the train, they're not very mindful, they're just thinking, oh, I'm off to this meeting, then I need to get this. The other person would get on the train, and instead of just going through the motions, they're thinking to themselves, oh, I'm grateful for this train because it means that, you know, my commute is taken care for and I don't need to walk to the town, which is miles and miles away. You'd then be thinking, oh, I'm grateful for this meeting because it's a good opportunity to, you know, excel in X, Y, or Z. I'm grateful for my access to food because it means I can improve my health, and, you know, I haven't got to go hunting or gathering today. I just need to use currency to exchange for food. Being more grateful for 5-10 minutes in the morning, just writing down a few things you're grateful for, is going to make you more grateful as you go about your day. You'll be grateful for the people you meet, grateful for the things you do, and this is all going to tie into improving your mood, your mindset, and your mindfulness in general, just your mental health. I hope you found this helpful. If you have, leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'd really appreciate it. And don't overcomplicate it, and don't get on your own back if, like, you're not bang on amazing at it on the first day or even the first few weeks, okay? I don't do all 4 of those things every day without fail, okay? Some days I miss some of these things. I try to, okay? And when I say I try to, I mean, like, it's only missed out when I have a busy day that I'm not particularly present in. So, like, when I go to work, and because I often work long hours, I don't always get home and do all my mindfulness practices that I really should do. However, it's just a learning curve, guys. Like, it's something you get better at in time. You're not gonna... No one goes into the gym and starts throwing around, like, do you know what I mean, 200 kilos. Like, it doesn't happen. You build up slowly, okay? We get better over time. And so when it comes to things like mindfulness, especially if we haven't had prior experience or practice in this sort of area, it's really important that you just take it slowly and get better at it over time. Progressive overload, okay? Start with one of these 4 things. Start with... So maybe if you don't have concrete goals, maybe you start with the goal setting, right? And then maybe if you've got your goals but you're looking at them negatively, then you'd go into visualization. You start visualizing how you want to attack your goals in your mind, and then when you do it in person, you've already got that mental experience. You could start with the meditation if your mind, if your mind wanders a lot and you don't have a lot of mental clarity. Your starting point is going to depend where you take this and how seriously you take it and all this and that, okay? So I just recommend that you don't sell yourself short, okay? Understand that you have the capability to do all these things. I'm not special, all right? This is just stuff that I'm teaching you about so you can practice this in your day-to-day. I really recommend you try and incorporate all 4 of these. However, start with the most important one. In my opinion, meditation is where the most gains are going to be, because that extra mental clarity and that extra sharpness in your mind is then going to flood over to the other things. But it's the same as all the other ones. Like, visualizations can flood over into meditations. You can visualize yourself being better at meditating. Like, they all are going to tie in, and they're all going to spill out over other areas of your life, and it's all going to benefit you. So I really do recommend you practice these mindfulness techniques. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a bit of coffee. I'm grateful for that coffee mug. I do really enjoy that. And that coffee's pretty good. And the honey's nice too.